Hello, everyone. This is Bree from Sacred Sun Holistic Center, and I just wanted to go over a self help technique today to kind of clear the mind, just relax everything. If you've never had a massage before and you're interested in what it is, or how it is, what exactly happens, or how I massage in particular, this will kind of give you some insight into what I'm doing to your body when you come in, okay? Okay, so we want to start off by just getting a good breath. If you've been watching our videos, you've been seeing Alicia and her breath work. Make sure that you take a nice full breath in and let it out. Just let it fill you up. Okay. And so as we're here, what I like to do is start by placing my hand gently on the side of my face. Okay? Just gently place your finger on the temple, and if you just don't even press in, okay? You can see the amount of tension. If you look at my skin here, you can see the amount of tension where I'm not really pressing in. So you can just lay your finger there and you just relax everything, and just you can start to make little circles or just kind of feel around and stay in this area. Don't lift up your finger. Keep your finger glued and just move around and see what you feel. You can begin to feel areas of tension, okay? Even if you smile, okay? So be serious and then smile. Serious, smile. Okay. So when you smile, okay, you can feel that. So if you're serious and you smile, or if you lift your eyebrows up, you can feel like a little bit of movement. If you keep your finger there, you can feel it harden, then you can feel it relax. Harden, relax, change around, do stuff with your face, and you can feel it. So if now you can pinpoint an area that may feel a little bit more tense than other areas around it. Now you can have some fun. You can try to feel what the shape is of that tense area. See if you can trace it with the pads of your fingertips, okay? So I'm just gonna go back a little bit to my hairline, and I feel tense here as well. It's a little tight. So I'm going to press in ever so gently and just hold, and I can make very small circles if I want. I'm moving towards the area of tension. Okay, I'm moving towards it. Ooh. And it might feel like a little tight, but keep moving towards it because you want to release that. Once you release it, it'll dissipate. You know, sometimes you're just like, ugh, and you start rubbing your temples and you rub it. You don't want to go that hard, okay? Because now you're moving around too much. Your body's like, what's happening? Please stop moving me. I just want to rest here. Okay, so take all that pressure off and just lightly, and as I'm doing, and I can hold this for like 30 seconds, 2 minutes, however long it takes for this area to just dissipate, and it'll almost feel like your finger is sinking in. So if you can see my skin, okay, I'm like lightly pressing, and then boom, I press harder, and you can see how the skin like moves around. So what'll happen is if my finger is here on an area that is super tight, as I'm tracing it, like watch the skin come up, okay? It's super tight. As I begin to trace it, it'll almost make a wave. Okay, you see how this is like pushing up, and I'm like if you take sand and you're in a sandbox and you do this with your hand in the sand, and like it'll make a wave, but the rest of this is flat over here, you know, like wave, flat, wave, flat. Okay, so that's what's happening here. If I press and then I move it, you can see like the little crescent shape, the wave happening, and then it smooths out, and all this feels really good. So I'm pressing and I'm moving out. And as I'm pressing and I'm looking for areas that are tense or hard, and you can distinguish between bone. If I press super hard, that's bone, okay, super hard. But if I just lightly press here, and feel like the squishy stuff underneath. I'm not pressing to the bone, I'm lifting up a little bit. Okay, and it almost looks like I'm barely touching my skin. And that's what I'm doing here in my temples. I'm pressing here, and then what I'm doing is as I move, let me relax my face because I'm doing this. Let me relax. So I'm here, and as I'm searching, as I'm releasing this area by pressing in and compressing for like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, however long it takes. Okay, and this is everywhere in your body. I'm just using this as an example because you can see my face, but I can do it to my hand, I can do it to my arm, and you can see. Okay, I press here, and if I move, I can feel another area that feels thicker. It feels thicker. It feels a little bit more tight. It feels stuck. Okay? It feels like my finger is stuck. Like, you see how this just glides really nice? And then I get to this area here, and then boom. And so now I'm going to stay here because it's tight here. Why would I leave? So I'm going to stay here, and then you can kind of play around and see how I'm going this way. Okay? If you watch my finger, I'm just slowly, ever so slowly, and I'm kind of like, ooh, I'm pressing in and moving, and I can feel it move. Now it's taking me down further. It feels like a wave. It's moving. The tightness when it's loosening up, but now it's bringing me down here, and I'm still holding. I haven't lifted my finger. I can feel it like smoothing out into the rest. Ooh, and now it's bringing me back up to the top of my forehead, further to the top. And all I'm doing is following the pattern. Now there's all this area over here that I didn't even get to. I didn't even get to this area, but I'm still here. And I might feel like a little bit, almost like a knot. People call it a knot. The shapes are different. You can try to feel what the shape is. Okay, and now I just release that. I smooth this out, and it feels good. And if I want to go again, now this feels pretty loose, feels loose. And if I want to start on this side, then I can start from the same point if I want, or maybe I can come over here. And I start, and I just take my finger and I move until I feel it gets stuck again. And again, it's like that sandbox, but that's what's happening here. See? You see? Like my skin is raised here. So I know just from the tonicity here, like how tight this is. Like, see, it's not too bad over here. Ooh, and that feels good. I can feel that in my ear. When I'm doing this, my ear is like, I can feel stuff moving around. Ooh, that feels good right in there. In the back. In the jaw. Anyway, I still haven't picked up my finger. My finger's been here the whole time. So I know this area is going to be tight, so I'm going to go that way. Why would I not? So I'm going to go that way. Ooh, and then as soon as I move that direction, it's like, boom, it gets tight. And that tightness is uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt when I'm pressing here, but it's just like, oh, that's it. That's the spot. You got it. Right there. And then I wait for this to just melt back into the fiber. Like, it relaxes, it calms down. And then I move my finger a smidgen more over. Not even like that. I'm literally going from here to here. Like here, and maybe less than that. Maybe less than that distance. Like here, and I'm leaning over with my finger. I'm not even like moving. I'm leaning over with my finger, and I'm just getting the next area that is super tight. It's like the next section over. And my finger hasn't moved. Okay. And I'm here. Hey, what's going on? How's it going? Talking, chit-chatting, kicking it. Okay, and I feel that begin to dissipate, and then I move over just a smidge more. You're not, don't do too much. Don't take your finger off. Don't move. Just, ooh, and just move over. And and if it gets easier, like see now I can, my fingers just sliding. My fingers just sliding. Boom, my finger just slides off. But I had worked through this small area. And this is your frontalis muscle, your occipitofrontalis. That starts from the back of the head and it connects to the front. And it's just this band of muscle here. Boom. That's the muscle. And so I can raise my eyebrows and you can see the muscle moving. If I raise my eyebrows, and now you can see my whole head moving. If I raise my eyebrows and you look up here, you can see my head moving. Okay? That's that whole muscle that helps to, you see? Okay. Okay. That's it. And so you can take that and you can do that everywhere, all over your body. When you're touching yourself, okay, you're making contact with your skin. Now we've seen how thin this muscle tissue is here. If you were to go and just take your fingers and lightly touch, be aware of what's happening in your body as you place your fingertips to your forehead. And so I'm gonna be quiet so we can just do this together if you want to, and if not, cool. Okay. And it's just the instant connection, okay? And you can even do it lightly. You can even do one finger first. And for me, like I start to feel things happening in my palm. Things happening, like stuff moving. And I can't even do it this fast. Like if I could do it like a billion times faster, that's what it feels like in my palm. And then when I'm here, my other hand starts feeling that as well. It starts feeling that as well. And now my palms are tingling. And then I was just shaking my hand, okay? But feel what else? I can also feel it in my knee. So what might that be telling me? But yeah, okay, so we can go back here. And now we've experienced how light we can touch. And you know, to experience how deep you can touch if you put your fingers and you like really press your fingers into your skull, or you press your skull down into your fingers, you know your own strength. You can hurt yourself if you want to. I hope you don't, because you are great and you are awesome and you are fantastic. So thank you. Please don't hurt yourself. Anyway, what was I talking about? I'll get there. Okay, right, so we can see how hard you can press into you. So move through those variations of pressing super light and then pressing in. But if you're doing it to your temple, to an area that is already sensitive to touch, then you would want to be careful. So let's go explore. Let's go explore. And I go looking for the areas of tension. Okay. And I'm just working this out on my own self because it feels really good. And now I've come to an area where I felt stuck. Like as I'm moving around, and I start to slow down because I find myself, I was getting deeper and deeper, like moving in circles. And now I'm in an area that feels stuck. So I'm just going to rest here for a little bit. I'm going to stay on this stuck area. And I can do minor movements if I want. Like if I am rushing, not rushing, but if there's not a lot of time, then I can vibrate. I can vibrate, and as I'm vibrating, it'll start to clear up. It'll start to like shake around. It'll start to move around. And as it's breaking apart, I can relax a little bit if I want to. But I can then go in and search for the parts that have been broken apart. Okay? They've scattered, they've dispersed. So I can go find them. And I just move over just a little bit more. And if I'm still at a time, then I can shake again, do whatever I need to do, really disperse the area. And I can feel them. It's almost like little, tiny little, like little armies. Anyway. And it breaks apart. And it feels liquidy, but still a mass of stuff. It feels liquidy, but still hard. Like a liquid hardness, or a hard liquid. Okay. So, nice. You can do that all throughout your body. You know, if you want to do your arm. That's tight in there. Okay. It's tight. Anyway. Oh, this is really good. That feels nice. You can do on yourself. You can, if you bend your arm and you want to place your fingertips in the ridge, in this ridge here, okay? And if you press this way, you can feel bone. See, like I'm sliding off. I'm sliding off. But if I press this way, I can feel more tendons, like more tissue inward. Okay, so if you take your finger and you press in this area, you're not like jabbing your finger in this area, right? Like I'm doing this, but it's still gentle. It's still pretty soft enough. Okay. So you can place your fingertips and start at the base of the hand, and if you trail along the bone and go all the way down to the elbow, okay, go all the way down to the elbow, and it's like the side of the elbow, you're not on the elbow, okay? So we start at the top, and we can trace this ridge here, and you come to like, and you want to be careful around here because it's kind of sensitive, okay? Okay. I'm talking to myself, like, please. It's a little tense here, but okay. I might say something, be like, be careful here, it's sensitive, because on me it's sensitive, so I'm telling myself to be careful because it's sensitive. And you're just hearing it, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to us. Okay, I'm having this conversation with myself as well because I'm doing it to myself. Anyway, moving on. So I'm here, and I can play with this ridge. We've defined that we're going to go down this ridge, and you can like strum it and see what is happening here as you just place your finger. You might slide off a little bit, on bone, you might slide off, and that's okay. And we're in here. Okay, and we're just kind of I'm like shaking my fingers. Okay, I'm like shaking my fingers in this area. And see, and now if I hold in and I'm shaking, my hand, my arm is just vibrating. Like you can see that. And I'm shaking, I'm just shaking my fingers. And I'm shaking. And my fingers are sliding down ever so gently. Like ever so. And you might hit a spot that's a little tense as you're shaking. Okay, as you're shaking. And you want to breathe through it. You want to breathe through it. Don't hold it in. Don't hold it in. And you know, you can stay here. You can stay here if it's stuck. If it's stuck, you can stay here and just really get in there and shake this out. So now you can see how I'm like moving up and down. I'm moving up and down just in this spot though. Like my fingers are glued and I'm moving up and down. Now that feels a little good, right? You saw how I was wincing on the way down, wincing and wincing. Well, now I'm not wincing anymore. That feels pretty good. And I'm going into an area where I'm about to start wincing and I'm just really getting in. Okay, and now I feel, and now with the shaking, I'm moving more onto muscle than to bone. Okay, so I started shaking this way. So my body led me to this because this is more, there's a lot more tissue here. It feels super tight, like once I'm getting further in. And as I'm pressing, I can feel this here. Okay. In my flexors. If on the other side of my forearm. Okay. So I'm pressing here and I can feel a sensation here. So I'm going to work that area out as well because there is some sort of a connection here. And again, let me readjust my cover. With all the shaking, it's moving off. Okay. And we're still working our way down the arm. And you want to make sure your nails are trimmed. Again, my nail, I'm saying this because I can feel my nail and that's not cool. So you want to make sure your nails are trimmed. And now I can begin to feel like I want to isolate. I want to isolate right here. I want to isolate. Ooh. And okay, and you want to make sure you have a good grip because then you might go off and onto the bone, right? You don't want to cross bone. Especially if you're super deep, you don't want to cross bone. You just want to stay here in this. And if I rotate my hand, if I rotate my forearm, I can feel this area moving. Okay, and it's kind of relaxing. That's what people say when they say release the muscle tissue. And now I see I can really like get in here and that doesn't hurt. And I'm not trying to hurt myself, but this has just relaxed. And I can kind of go back up, retrace that, smooth it out, just kind of see what's going on, maybe squeeze a little bit. I've had my hand in this position for a while, so I just want to squeeze this out. And now I'm like squeezing all the way up my arm because it just feels good to complete all that. Okay, so and we can go back in. See how all this is loose? We've like shaken this up. This is super loose. Now we can go back into these areas down here, which it's more meatier. Okay, even if I were to straighten my arm, it's meatier here. Okay. And if I keep pressing in and down, and then I can hold right in there. Okay, so now I'm I'm pressing more into the bone, but my finger can feel like a, a lump. That's what that feels like. It feels like, and not even a lump, it feels like a lump. And then if I press, it's like I go over the lump and it becomes a ridge. Like I think it's a hill, but it's actually a mountaintop. It's actually a mountaintop. And if I hold, and now I'm crossing up and down. I'm parallel to the muscle fibers for the most part. And I can feel it moving around this lump of a hill. And I'm just doing these circular motions. And if I press in and up, and see now, like my hand, I just did that naturally. My hand is like moving around. My hand is moving around now. And this feels more loose. You can even tell, like from the beginning of the video to now, it's like I can really get in there. This feels so good. And now if I go and jiggle, you see how like much is jiggling now? Whew, okay, and now this is a little tight because I held my hand up like this, but I was demonstrating to you. So please feel free to use something underneath your arm or like rest it on something. But now, because my arm was like that, I feel tension here because I was holding in this position for quite some time, demonstrating what's going on. And like now even like my mid back, because I'm like huddled over. So now I'm gonna arch that out, arch it out.